Hey, so I just wanted to bring up something to think about having to do with how you're forming your desire. Like when you're picking what it is that you want to focus on or to manifest, whatever. There's something that I think is very common and very human to do, which is to sort of accidentally think about the thing that's lacking, the thing that you want to manifest, and to overcompensate, to sort of mistakenly imagine that you want a lot more of that thing than you actually do. This isn't a tragic mistake because, I was saying in a previous video that I kind of felt like my social life was lacking, and so I manifested a partner and a lifestyle that was like way, way too much. I manifested like the most social person in the world and got into a relationship with him. And it was through that experience that I had a big reality check that, okay, I don't want to never, ever go out, which is where I was. In my previous relationship, it was total homebodies, never did anything. I don't want to never go out. But in my mind, I was like, I'm in the absolute wrong situation. I need to be in that situation. I need to be in a situation where I'm out more than I'm home. And that was not wise. It was a while ago, but I learned my lesson from that, and I'm passing that on to you now. Just so that you don't waste your time, or just so that you can grasp onto a future that makes sense for you more fully and easily. And so, for example, if you're missing a relationship in your life, if you've been missing that feeling of partnership, or if, a commenter commented something in response to a video of mine where I was talking about fulfilling, how fulfilling most things can be, how you can do that for yourself. And the commenter was saying, well, yeah, but what I want is physical intimacy and cuddling and all of that. I can't do that for myself. That's what's sorely lacking from my life. It's very easy if you're at that point, where those words would come out of your mouth, and no judgment, because I've certainly been there myself. It's very easy to think to yourself, my ideal partner would be somebody who just always wants to be touching me, and that, wants to do it 3 times a day forever until we're 80. What the actual reality is going to be is that just like any other good thing, you're going to want a balance of that. You're not going to want that all the time, probably. I mean, maybe some people do, but the vast majority of people, I think, tend to overestimate how much of the thing they're lacking they're going to actually want in their life. Because, it's just like the chocolate cake analogy I used recently. If you've been wanting chocolate cake for a long time, that first piece of chocolate cake is going to be amazing. But if you keep eating it every day, by the 3rd or 4th day, you're going to be like, this is good, but I'm starting to get satiated. So when you're thinking about what you want to manifest, this is that's a good time to try to move away from the feeling of lack about it and just start to imagine, what is it that I would actually want this to look like? Because, you can become very blinded by, very blinded. Can you be very blind? You can become blinded heavily. That's better, right? By the idea that because you haven't had something, you're going to want as much of it as you can possibly get once you get it, which will probably not be the case. And that just kind of swings you over to the other side. And the idea, is to get this pendulum to sort of stop swinging in the middle, where all of your needs are beautifully, and satisfyingly met. Your needs and desires are satisfyingly met. So, I don't have some big instruction for this because I'm not a teacher, but this is just being aware of this, I think, is enough for many people to say, oh, wow, yeah, I have been imagining that because, I haven't had a physical relationship in 3 years or something, that the next time I'm in a relationship, I want it to be with somebody who is like a bunny and can't get enough. When in reality, like, that might be a little taxing for you. And after 3 months of that, you might be saying, oh my God, like, I'm tired. I just want to go to bed tonight, So it's just something to think about, because, there's no real mistakes, I don't think. Because truly, it's not just like a trite cliche saying that, mistakes help you grow and they're what you need to learn and all of that, and that there's value in that. That's not just like a trite cliche. It's the truth. There's value in that. If you learn from a mistake, you change as a person. You create a different reality thanks to that experience and understanding. So it's not like it's a big deal if you screw these things up or whatever. Not even screw them up. If you just manifest something and then through that experience, you're able to refine what you want and what you don't want. That's really valuable and valid and everything. But it's also an amazing skill to be able to leap past those experiences without having to have them. It really doesn't matter which way you go. But, I think somebody can probably get something of just thinking about this a little bit. And also, I think when you refine your desire or your objective, your manifestation objective, and it is more in line with what would actually fulfill you, I think there is a certain feeling that is created in you of almost experiencing yourself on another timeline or in the future that feels different than just imagining yourself in a future that isn't really something that you would be happy with, which you can do and manifest, as I was just saying. But there's something about when you hit that moment where you connect to the right thing for you, where it's almost like you instantly leap forward in like an internal shift. It's almost like you fast forward through a bunch of things that would have had to happen, and you close that gap, that time lag that it takes to get from your imaginal, whatever, your visualization, your intention, however you think of it, to the actual full manifestation of something. It's like that gets shortened, and just a bunch of crap gets cut out. It's, again, like, it's hard to explain anything about this because it's just, I don't know. So much of it is just a visual in my head when I'm talking about my experience. Anyway, I don't know if that helped anybody, but, there's just a lot of things that people don't stop to think about. It's not easy to just be aware of every little nuance of everything in any given moment. So I wanted to point that out, because there are a lot of people who are missing something. Money, one of these big areas, resources, love, health, where there's this it's like this ideal scene in their mind of this utter and total every moment fulfillment of the lack of this thing, when in reality, quickly you become bored of the thing. It's like, this is also, I think, why appreciation is important. It's like you get something and it's no longer lacking, and then it just doesn't, it's like it becomes a non-issue if you're used to focusing on everything that's lacking all the time. Your focus will then automatically just shift to anything else you feel is lacking. And this thing that you had your mind on for so long is now fulfilled, and it just moves to the back burner. And that's kind of a tragedy. I don't know. That's so depressing. So yeah, I don't know, learning to stop and indulge in the appreciation of what you do have, especially if it's in an area that was once lacking and you're not doing that. That's important, because otherwise, like, it's just hamster wheel. So anyway, have a great day.